Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Coach's Corner, brought to you by My Game Day Collections and MyGameDayCollections.com. Their styles are comfortable and an alternative to women's and men's basic t-shirts and hoodies. They offer royalties on all gross sales should school sign up with them, up to 8%, so you can use it kind of as a fundraiser. 50% off discount on all standard shipping. First return is free. Local company, so all the service is local. And I am pleased to be joined on this edition of Coach's Corner with Millard South boys basketball Tim Leuschen. Coach, how are you? You look like you're in a coach's office.
I'm in a coach's office, Mike. Doing great. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. So let's just start with, how have things been going now that you guys are back in gyms and being able to kind of go full go, because there was steps to it to get there. So how's everything been going so far?
Yeah, sure. It's obviously a gradual process that we went through at the high school, starting with just strength and conditioning, and then mid-June we got out of basketball and start doing some skill work, and then as of July 1 we've been a full go. So since then it's been pretty fast and furious. We had 3 days of an hour and a half camp, and then that was July 1st through July 3rd, and July 6th league started, and off we were going. So I think it's gone really well for us so far. We have a great combination of veteran players and younger players, and we're very pleased with progress. Our message to our kids this summer has been we want to make progress in everything that we do. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress, and so far this summer we've gotten that.
Right, and you brought it up, but you do have a nice collection of a mix, right? Is that by design, or is that just kind of how it worked out? I mean, you have Stangers and junior, seniors, and then you have some sophomores that should be nice players for you going forward and potentially even this year.
Yeah, it's really a great mix to have, because we have, from our older guys right now, our returners. We have great consistency. They're great models for our younger kids on how hard you have to play at the varsity level, right? And right now, those younger kids can fill in around those guys, and they're doing an outstanding job of that, and learn from them how hard you have to compete. That way, when those guys, are off and gone next year, our younger kids will understand what it's going to take to compete at this level.
Speaking of one of those guys that is going to be off and gone is Jack Cooper. Jack, I watched him play this weekend. I thought he had a really nice weekend and playing AAU stuff, and has had kind of a nice little July here. How much are you guys going to depend on him? One, his versatility and scoring ability, and just overall kind of leadership.
Yeah, we'll rely on Jack a lot. Obviously, he started for us as a sophomore on and off, and then led us in scoring and rebounding last year as a junior. And we rely on him to, defend, provide us with a post presence, but also be able to step out on the perimeter. And like you mentioned, he's just so versatile, and he's just a worker. He's one of those guys. He can really set the tone by through his coachability. He's so coachable. And he just is relentless. He works so hard and is so consistent with the things that he does. So yeah, we'll rely on him on both ends of the floor, and we'll rely on his consistency to help us continue to grow with our success.
Losing Trevor Albert was, that's size just alone, right? And now, the Metro really doesn't have a whole lot of size. It looks like gonna happen in 2020-21. But losing him is kind of a big deal, right? He provided that length and could step out and shoot threes and some versatility there too.
Right, absolutely. Trevor really had a breakthrough season last year, obviously, and changed games with his shot blocking ability at 6'9". So certainly his presence by the basket really helped us last year, and his ability to stretch the floor. A lot of times last year we had 5 players on the floor that were threats from the perimeter, and that just makes you harder to guard, I think. And it was a lot of fun to coach because we had such versatile players like that. So yeah, we'll certainly miss. We probably won't be able to replace his shot blocking ability. But we have other guys that do other things really well that, will adjust. And that's the fun part about coaching high school basketball is your, personnel changes. Then, as a coach, your system has to adjust to the strength of your individual players.
One of the strengths, I think this is just from watching you guys briefly in July so far, is your ability to shoot the ball from the outside. I think you got a handful of guys mixed with some athleticism there too that can get to the rim. Is that going to be kind of more of the focus, you think? We're a long way away from the season, but do you think that focus is going to be kind of shooting the three a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a highly valuable shot right now in the game of basketball, obviously, is to be good at shooting that 3-point shot. And there'll be times again this year where we'll have 5 guys on the floor that are capable of making shots at a high percentage. You've already mentioned Jack Cooper, and I think a lot of people don't realize Michael Harding, who's another one of our seniors that is just so consistent with his effort and how hard he works. He shot well over 40%. I think it was like 41.5% from 3 last year. So, our ability to shoot it from the perimeter is certainly going to be one of our strengths.
Okay, now to the fun questions, right? Those were a little more serious. So let's have a little fun here. Millard South is, for my money, kind of always one of the toughest places to play. The environment, the gym's tight. Even though it's kind of big, it's a little tight, feels small. And it felt smaller with the wood bleachers. Now that those have been replaced, it feels a little bigger. And it's just a unique thing with the, upper deck on the one side and the band is really loud on the other next to the student section. And how tough of a home environment is Millard South? I'm sure you love playing there.
We do. There's no place like home, right?
Right.
But we think we have a really unique setup, and we have a great student body, and we always remind our student body there's probably not another sport where you can have an impact on a game like basketball because of just the environment in high school when the crowd is right on top of the game. And we love playing at home. We love the support that our student body gets. I think like a lot of places in the metro, we're going to continue to try to build the back-to-back where our Saturday attendance can match what our Friday attendance is. There's such a great tradition of basketball at Millard South, going back to Coach Ribble and all the things that he accomplished here. So we'd love to continue to build on all the great basketball that's been played.
What is the one win that you remember the most in your time at Millard South?
Well, I have to pick one.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
As a home game?
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, can I cheat? Can I give a quick 3?
Yeah, sure.
There's 3. There's 3 wins that I think that forever, if you go all the way back to, it was 2010, we had a school shooting at Millard South. And that's when we had players like Kyler Erickson, Blake Headley, Quentin Urban, Reagan Fowler, Elijah Tostenson. That was our group. We had a really good group that year. And after that shooting happened, we played Omaha Bryan, who was a number one in the state at that time. And the place was filled because the community just came back together.
Yeah.
Right. And, at the time I was an assistant and I was talking to Coach Serving. We thought, how amazing is this that the community has come together like this? And how great would it be if we were actually healthy? Because we had most of our starters, about 80% of our scoring was actually hurt and did not play. So Quentin Urban, Reagan Fowler, and Kyler Erickson were all hurt.
Yeah.
And I remember Wyatt Miller, who ended up, if you remember, Wyatt played for us for 4 years. This was his first game playing as a freshman. Wow. I got the jersey. He was only playing JV. The night of the game, I'm back in the storage room to get him his varsity jersey. He scores 15 points. Our seniors that were able to play just fought like crazy. Brian shot 2 of 21 from 3, and we pulled out a gigantic upset in front of a very emotional and packed gymnasium at Millard South, and that was a really special night because it really felt like, after Dr. Casper's passing, that the basketball gods were looking over us that particular night. The two other wins, obviously, my third year here, we were the 3 seed going into districts. We beat a very good Millard North team. That was the 2 seed that year. Then we went down to Lincoln Pius to play in a district championship game, and the place was absolutely packed. It was, how crowded that gym can get, and we were able to upset number 1 Lincoln Pius in that game, and that was a huge win for us. And I remember walking out after the win, and both sets of student section bleachers were broken.
Wow.
Like the bleachers were, because the kids were just bouncing around, and it was such an intense environment. And then, of course, the third game, being at the state tournament in 2018, and coming back after being down 21-2 to upset a great Omaha Central team. That was really special. And I think what was so special about that win for us is, that year we had Tyrell, who's obviously an unbelievable point guard, but our 4 other players that started that year, their primary sport or their main sport was baseball.
Oh.
So you get down 21-2,
Yeah.
and these guys know, hey, baseball season has already started.
Right.
I can be at the field tomorrow. Maybe we can just, pack it in. But their ability to come together and their toughness to just chip away, and come back and win the game is, was something really special. And that proves, though, too, when you have multi-sport kids, we always said those guys were baseball. But when it was basketball time, those kids were absolutely committed and 100% invested. Kyle Perry, Drew Gillen, Dylan Wagner, Logan Rudolph, when we had that group with Tyrell. So those are 3 games that certainly stand out as huge, memorable victories for our program.
Okay, last one. You ready?
Yeah.
I want to ask everybody, favorite player you've ever coached, not the most talented, but like the favorite guy that you've ever coached.
Right, and I've had so many great kids, right? And I know it's so hard to just say, hey, this is my favorite kid, because I've had so many kids that are favorites in different ways. But I will just mention one guy that's been really special to our program, and we've had lots of them. So that's such a hard question because you're leaving so many guys out. But Kyler Erickson, who in 2010, I had already mentioned the incident that happened at Millard South. He was really, really close to that incident. He was actually in the nurse's office because he had sprained his ankle on a Tuesday night, and the shooting took place on a Wednesday. And Kyler basically was right next to it, and there for it, and went through a lot. And continues just now to give, right, to make our Millard South community better, just to make the world a better place for, young people in general. That's his mission. That's his goal. And he's just such a grateful kid. And he'll come back and say, I owe all of this. And if you know Kyler's story, right, he went to Northwest Missouri State, came back, and then kind of some things happened, and he got to walk on at UNO and ended up getting to play there when everybody basically told him he would never be able to play at that level. Never was on an AAU team, but he just was a worker for us for 4 years, and I always did the guard development, and he missed one workout. One morning they overslept, his older brother and him, and he was just devastated that he had missed that one time, and he begs, like, Coach, can we make it up the next day at 6 a.m.? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. We can make it up the next day. So we've had so many special players here. But because of what Kyler does now for the community at large, he's really one that stands out, and he still gives back. He always comes in to speak to our guys, and really is a huge supporter of our program.
That's a good choice.
That's a hard question because I can go down the line, right, of so many guys that have done great things for us here at Millard South, whether they've been stars or whether they've been guys that haven't played a lot. We've had a lot of special kids.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. I appreciate your time today, and probably see you soon, I'm guessing, on a basketball court somewhere.
I'm sure we will. Thanks,
All right.
Mike.
Thanks.